After years of fierce competition to govern the most prosperous and joyful cities in Everdell, Mayors Honey Sundew and Oliver Topshell have surprised everyone by declaring that they will now work as a team to establish and govern a new city in the Emerald Valley. Such an undertaking is unprecedented in the history of Everdell, and though each critter has certainly proven their merits working on their own, time will tell if they can set aside some of their strongly opposing viewpoints to enact policies that will benefit all of their citizens. The Gazette is poised and ready to bring you timely reporting on all the events of these two prominent figures of our time. Doomed to fail? The so-called prestigious mayors Sundew and Topshell have declared a union not unlike winter and summer announcing a truce. Two mayors governing one city? Try to keep up, Topshell. Sundew is set to race circles around your slow and steady policies with wild new hairs sure to spiral to madness before the ink on the bill even dries. The Root has reporters in every corner of the valley, watching and listening. The tragic headlines will not be difficult to formulate. Alright, here is Everdell Duo set up. So, first things first, this can be played competitively, this can be played cooperatively, this can be played solo. When you play solo, you set it up as a cooperative play, so how I'm about to play it is basically the cooperative way. However, as you play things, all that is the same as in competitive. So, let me go over setup really quick, and then I'll explain how the game plays, and then we'll get started. I will play through winter, and then we'll speed through spring, summer, and I'll bring you back into autumn. So, you've heard the story. Our goals is 4 events, which are up here, and a final score of 85 because we're playing on normal. This here shows us where we set up the skunks. This is specific to cooperative and solo play, and same thing with this open sharing tile. So to set it up, you are going to put the board in the middle. For the cooperative side, you're going to have the side that doesn't have journey on here and has these numbers on it. So that's going to be the cooperative side. The competitive side is basically the same board, except it doesn't have numbers and there's a spot for an extra event on it. You are going to fill the meadow with cards from the deck in each spot. There's kind of a little light outline, but basically you're going to be putting the 12 cards in here. You have the stack of meadow tiles. You'll be putting 2 out, leaving these here because they do get replaced every round. In the cooperative solo play, you are going to be having skunks. The book told us where to do. We do 2 in a meadow. So for the first one, we rolled the die and it went to 4. The next one went to 6. And then there was 1 in the locations, which is the bottom row. In future ones, they may be in the events. And again, you would roll them and they'd be blocking that spot. And that is how we're going to reset them every round. So you have the cards. Each person's going to get a character. There is the rabbits and there is the tortoises, the hare and tortoise and the hare, however you want to say it. Each person's going to get a player aid card. They're going to draw 2 cards, and then we are going to do what's depicted on this tile. So the rabbit's going to go first, and then the turtle. One of us is going to draw a card from the deck. The other one is going to take a card from the meadow and immediately replace it. The big change in a cooperative game is we are cooperatively building out our city. So as we play cards, I'm going to put the city here. However, your cards in your hand, your resources, etc. are all going to be part of each individual player. That's why I have them separated. So the turtle's going to be over here, the hare's going to be over here, the village is going to be under the board. So if you see face-up cards, it's part of their hand, unless it's basically between these 2 cards, and I knocked over my rabbits. So if you played Everdell, playing the cards is the same. You have to pay the resources up in the left corner, and you can put them out. The change in this one is normally if you say had a location of like the wall, you'd be able to put out the guard for free. In this instance, you need to have one of these occupied tiles. Then once you have the occupied tile, you can place it on a location to play a character card, a villager card of that same color for free. You can only do this once per color. So if I have 2 green buildings, I can only activate 1 of those green buildings. So how a turn is going to work is we are going to choose 1 action. We can place a worker on a worker location. We have these ones along the bottom. We have the ones along the top that will let you accomplish the event and get the resource shown. These give you the resources shown. or some of the cards are going to have a spot that you'll put a worker and do what it says. After you have done the action, you are going to take this sun marker and you're going to move it to the next available space. If there is a skunk there, it is blocking the space. So if I had to move the sun from here to the next space, it jumps over here. And then because a skunk is here, I can no longer move the sun token because the spot is blocked. The next action you can do is you can play a card. When you play a card, you can either play it from your hand or you can play it from the meadow. When you play it from the meadow, it needs to be adjacent to the sun or the moon token. So at the start of the game, we have access to the cards in our hand and these first two. If the sun token was here and the moon token was here and went to go play a card, we'd have access to these two, these four, and these four. Then, once you play a card, you are going to move the moon token to the next spot. Again, same as the sun. If it's blocked, you have to skip over it. In this instance, once it gets to the 5, it is done. The final action you can take is you can either draw a card or take a card from anywhere in the meadow. Once you do that, you're going to move either the sun or moon token. It is entirely up to you. At any time, you can discard 2 cards to get a resource of your choice. I have the resources off to the side. You have your berries, your pebbles, your wood, and your resin. So that is that. So our last bit of setup is going to be to choose who's drawing a card and who's getting one from the meadow. And then also part of the cooperative are these good news cards. You are going to draw 3. Put them face up. Collectively, you're going to choose one, and that's going to be available for this game. At any point, you can use it, and then you can discard it. You can only use it once per game. Because I am playing on normal, if I end up not using it, I can actually carry it over to another game. So I think this one, we have the gift that keeps giving, open ideas, and too much of a good thing. I kind of like the too much of a good thing of either player gains 2 different resources. So these other ones would get put back in the box. This is just going to go up there. And then two last bits. You have this sharing token. What this means is on my turn, if I want to share something with my partner, let me just make sure. Anytime during your turn, you may place up to 1 of your resources or a card from your hand or an occupied token on it, and then they get at the start of their turn. So if I say, my opponent can do something for free, then I may, or has all the berries, I may put this on the sharing tile. When it becomes their turn, they would take this to their hand, or a resource, etc. And then finally, we have this pocket watch. At any time during the game, I can flip this over to push one of the tokens back and being able to basically take an extra turn in regards to that. They also said that in the solo and cooperative, you will never be able to put out all 6 workers because there's only going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 spots available, and we have 6 workers, so the worker spots are going to be limited and hard to come by. With all that said, I think we will finish our startup and get those cards that we want. Alright, so I had the rabbit take the shepherd from this spot. We replaced it with the chipsmith. And then the turtle just drew from the top of the deck. I will point out that because it is the cooperative, we get to choose what we do. Typically, it would have been, the rabbit was going to go first and drew 1, and then the turtle drew 1 and 1 from the meadow. So because it's cooperative, it is different that way. Alright, so we are going to first want to try and start getting some stuff out. Rabbit's going to go first and then turtle. I know I want to try and get this barn out with the turtle because once I get the barn out, I can get my baker out and the baker can turn berries into other resources and points. And over here I'm looking at the lookout and then using the lookout to get out the shepherd because I like the shepherd's ability. But in order to do all that, I will also still need an occupied token. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to send our rabbit over here to get an occupied token. And then they get to draw a card from anywhere in the meadow. What do I want them to grab? I think we're going to have them grab. So we are going to need to get 4 of these. So this one is have more buildings and wood. Then we look at this number in parentheses, 6. That is how many we need to have in order to get that because we don't have an opponent to have more from. The fair is having one of each type of building or person. Edge of the map is 3 of one type. Thriving production is more green and blue. You need at least 5. Housing innovation is 5 buildings. And age of peace is 2 of each thing. So we just have to have it in the city. It doesn't matter who put it out. So we already have 1, 2. We have 3 green things. So we already know we're going to be able. Wait, no, green's not on there. It's the satchel bag, the paw print, the blue, or the purple. So we already got a couple of paw prints here. He's got paw prints, so we should have that one. Might have them grab. They got 2 locations. Let's have them grab a production person because they do have the harbor. Wait, no, because we're going to use our production on that one. That's right. I think we're going to have them grab the wall. So we grab that. We put that in their hand. We put this out. We placed out a worker. So the sun moves. The turtle is going to go here and get 3 pieces of wood. 1, 2, and 3. Like so. He'll need 2. Over here for the lookout, they need 1. And then a couple other things. They can get a lot of that right there. Probably should have the turtle go over there, but I think I'm going to send the rabbit over there to start getting some stuff. And then that moves. So we are going to send the rabbit onto, I think, this location, which is going to get them 1 wood and 2 resin. The sun moves, so I can technically place 1 more worker. He is going to need a a pebble to get there. There's 1 spot that gives a pebble. I'm thinking I'm just going to end up playing a card so I can get my barn out, which would give me a berry. So we're going to spend our 2 wood to put out the barn. Green cards, once you play them, you are going to get what they have. So he gets a berry, like so. And then the moon moves. Looking over here, he still needs a pebble, so I could put myself there. That will be the last worker we have. Then he'll be able to play his lookout, and then we'll be able to eventually put out that shepherd, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 things left that we can do. So it is the rabbit's turn. Let's go ahead, and you know what, we are going to put him out right there. So he draws a card from the deck. It's the post office, which looks like you go there, you discard a card for 3 resources and a point. That's pretty nice, and he'll have the stuff to do that, so we would do that one or the lookout. By the way, we grab a pebble, we can't do that yet. And then the sun moves. So again, now I cannot place out any more of my workers. We only have the 4 spots. So now it is the turtle's turn. So optimally, it would have been nice for him to have the occupied so he could have done something. He does not, so he can't. Looking out here, there is nothing that he can readily put out because he doesn't have enough berries. He can't really discard anything, so he's probably going to just grab a card. I'm thinking, yeah, so we're going to do this action. We're going to grab, I think we're going to grab the trail guide, like so, and that gets replenished. The moon moves. So this will be the last of the round, or no, this and then 1 more. So we are going to play. So lookout is basically I mimic one of the actions out here, which might not be too bad because if the skunk lands on one of them, I wouldn't have access to it. Whereas the post office is discard a card. But unlike regular Everdell, it seems like it's hard to get cards in here because it costs an action and you're moving stuff around. So I think I am going to do the lookout. So a rosin, a log, and a pebble. Lets me put out the lookout like so. Then I put out a card, Play the card. So this moves now. So again, their turn. I'm probably just going to end up taking a card because I can't put out a worker. And there is nothing that I can play still. Because what came out? The greenhouse. But I don't have a resin. So let's go ahead and we're just going to, I think, draw the top card. Like so. And then this moves. So now we are at the end of the round. So going down here at the end of the round, we are going to move the skunks. So first this one. Actually, I believe we take them off. So then this first row, they go on 1. Then they go on 4 again. And down here, they go on 6. Let's grab our people back to make room. He stays there. There we go. So he's actually where the occupy token is. But that's fine because I do plan on putting out the shepherd. These come back to the furthest one. So they are actually going to be starting on 2 this round. We then discard these 2 and replace them. There's that. And there's that. So that will be activate a spot where someone already is. And this just gives us 2 pebbles. Going into this round, one of us can activate the green buildings and one of us draws a card. Why who activates the green building matters, because whoever does activate it gets that resource. So I know I already have the plans for that. I think we are going to activate the barn for the turtle, so he gets the berry. So that means rabbit draws a card, and turtle is going to go first. So again, we are going to be repeating this all the way through this and that, and then into fall. So why don't I go ahead, I'm going to skip ahead, and I'll put timestamps down below for when we get into autumn, and then when we start doing all of the endgame scoring. So if you want to jump ahead to those, you can find those down below. All right, see you back in the fall. Alright, we are entering autumn. So, as I said, you can put out 4 workers. I know I need 2 of them to come up here. So, I know I have all of that because I have a production, I have one of the one-time uses, I have, of course, the paw prints, I have a blue one, and I have an endgame scoring. So I know I can get that one. Right now they have this because we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 buildings and they have a wood, so that does equal the 6. Or we don't have 2 of everything, so we can get these 2 right there. So it was maybe the first couple spots I go just to make sure I have that stuff, because we do need to have 4 to be able to win. So Turtle's going first, so we'll go. Does Turtle want resin, or does he want wood, or does it not matter? So looking at my last few things, because I haven't actually figured out if I have the 85 points yet or not. Because I'm thinking I want to try and get out this wall, because that's going to be giving me 5 points right there. So I think we're going to, you know what, we'll get him the resin, like so. And that gets that one done. Now over here, he is going to go up and grab this while he has the wood. So that's going to give him a wood. And he grabs this tile right there. So I mean, between these I have 21, so I'm already almost a quarter of the way there. So that's always a good thing. So I've got to move the sun, and then move the sun again for that location. So now what is he going to do over here? So I know I got the 1 card to play. Is there something that he can play, especially with his occupied token? We have, what building do we have available? We've never actually used our green building yet. So I could use the green building to put out the minor mole. And you know what? I think that is what we are going to do. We're going to use our occupied token to play a card, put it on our barn, bring out the minor mole, like so. I played a critter, so I get a berry. And now we are going to use that berry. We're going to activate, oh, it's in my hand. Well, we're going to do this one. The baker up to twice, so I can turn 2 of these in for a resource of my choice. Let's go ahead and grab 2 wood. And then that is going to be 2 points as well, like so. And then we refill. And then we played a card, so the moon moves. Next up, Rabbit's going to play a card, so that is a wood, a resin, and a pebble, like so. To put that out, 1 per that, max of 5, so that does give me 3, 4, and 5. And now, technically, if I get an occupied token, I could get the ranger out. I don't know if I really want to. That is worth what? That is 1 point, so we'll see where it goes. But this one moves 1 there. Alright, back to our turtle. So do I have the thriving production to be able to put a worker out? So that is, I need at least 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have that now, and that is 6 points. And I think the only other spot I want to go to is maybe one of these to get that occupied one. Oh, I won't be able to actually put him out. Wait, no, because if the sun's there, yeah. So we're going to go right up here. He's going to get a berry. We get the thriving production. The sun moves. Rabbit's going to go here to the shepherd, which lets us grab a card. So we're just going to end up grabbing the ranger anyways, just to make sure I have access to it. I get an occupied token and a point token, like so. And then the sun moves. So we are down to our final 2 actions of possibly playing cards or doing something else. So I am right by the greenhouse, so I could activate that, or I could put that out. That's a point. Is there something else I'd rather do? I know they're going to probably be playing the Ranger. So that would be that building. Let's go ahead and play a card. Might as well, right? So I don't know if there's anything here that I care about. So yeah, we'll put out the greenhouse. So a resin and a stick to play the card from in there, like so. I now can activate the production in my city of 2 different buildings. For ease, I'm going to get a berry. I'm going to turn a berry in for 2 pebbles because I like the pebbles. And then this moves forward like so. So we are down to our last action, and I think we are going to play that Ranger, move one of your workers to a new location and activate it even if already occupied. So I'm basically just going to move myself to somewhere where I can get points of some kind. So maybe down here, or maybe I'll do the whole draw. Yeah, I'm going to try and draw a card. So we're going to put our occupy token on the wall, which lets us put out our Ranger. The Ranger activates and move one of your workers onto, actually first we get a berry because we played something. Then we move one of our workers. We are going to move this one, and we're going to go to the cemetery, look at the top 4 and play it with a cost of -4 resources. Return the rest. Oh, I've been discarding them accidentally. So the monk is 0, but I can turn resources in for 2 points. 1, 2 points, 2 for each one of those. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's going to be 10. That would be 6, so I'm probably going to do the Hidden Springs. Yep, so we'll do the Hidden Springs right there, like so. So we'll return the rest. So yeah, I should have been returning the rest, so there was a card or 2 that I probably wouldn't have been able to play. So that was on me. Cemetery, for some reason, I thought it was going to be discarding with the cemetery. So that is a faux pas on my end. So with all that being said, the moon moves, and we are at the end of the game. So now we are going to move into endgame scoring. Alright, so we got our campaign score sheet here. We are going to be scoring as in a normal game. So we are going to be scoring the points that are depicted on the cards, any purple bonus, which are these 2 right here, any points tokens, and the events. So let's get our point tokens together. Kind of wish they would have given an actual score pad in here like they do the regular game, but oh well, let's get to it. So I think we're going to total up these first, and then I'll just count from there. So the Hidden Spring is 2 for each one of the little bags. So I have those 4 right there. And then 1, this is 1 for every green building. I have 4 there. So that is 4. And then that's 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. 35, 40, 45, 50, 62, 63, 64, 64, and 9 is 73. Pretty sure that was it, 73. Alright, so with that 73 points, I did not actually accomplish the normal score of 85. Probably should try to get out more cards. So I will not put my score in. I would record a 0 for a loss, but I can replay it. So I'll mark that as replay it, and you'll circle if you unused a pocket watch. That's probably what I could have done too, is unused a pocket watch and try to get out another card. So that was an unsuccessful attempt at the first play of the solo of Everdell Duo. Hope that gave you a good idea of how the game is. If I could please go ahead and get you to head down below and hit like, subscribe, share, ring the bell, comment. Let me know what you thought about this one as compared to Everdell. I will probably be doing a review of this soon because I have some thoughts on this one. Down below, you'll also find ways of supporting the channel, which is our links to our Patreon and our Ko-fi. Ko-fi, you can go ahead and buy me a drink to help lessen the sting of this defeat on Chapter 1 on normal difficulty of Everdell Duo. So, until next time, Tree.